Hello everyone. We are going to discuss in this video the structure of prokaryotic cells. So let's start our discussion. Pro means primitive, okay, and the karyotic means the nucleus, okay. So it means totally that it has a primitive nucleus. So the name, it has got the name prokaryotic cell. So we are going to discuss in this video the one by one all the structures and all the details of the prokaryotic cell. So from starting from the outside, it has got a first membrane layer called a capsule. Okay, so many of the in many of the textbooks you will find that capsule oblique slime layer. Okay, slime layer, but in many of the textbook there is a difference between capsule and slime layer. You will find there that slime layer is not so resistant to many of the stains, but capsule is very much strong and it will resist the some of the strains. Okay, so the capsule is an extra layer that is present in some bacterial cells. It is a extra layer apart from the cell wall. You will see here that it is a cell wall, and this greenish portion is known as capsule. Fine. So it is composed of polysaccharides. It is composed of polysaccharide means glucose units. Glucose units are binding together to form a polysaccharide. Fine. This layer is protecting. Fine. This the nature of this layer is protecting for the bacteria, the cell, from foreign invaders. Foreign invaders means the bacterial cell is susceptible to phagocytosis. When this bacterial cell get entry in the human gut, it is susceptible for the phagocytosis by WBC cells. But due to presence of this capsule, there is no antigen against this capsule in the in the concerned person. Then this with the help of this capsule, the bacterial cell can protect itself from the foreign invaders. It also helps the cell to adhere to a surface or with the nutrients. This slime layer, or you can say the capsule, helps in the adherence, means it helps in the sticking of the bacterial cell on any surface. Fine. Capsule assists in retaining moisture. This capsule contains almost 95% of water. Fine. So it helps in retaining the moisture, desiccation of the bacterial cell due to the loss of moisture. So it keeps the bacterial cell moistened. Fine. The next structure which we will see in the prokaryotic cell, or we can say the bacterial cell, because the bacterial cell are the classical example of prokaryotic cell, that is, and the next structure is the cell wall. Fine. The cell wall is surrounded by the cytoplasm and provided the cell a distinct shape and rigidity. So the function of the cell wall is to provide a distinct shape and the rigidity to the cell. Here you can see this outer layer is known as cell wall. Fine. This layer is known as cell wall. It is located inside the capsule. Cell wall is present inside the capsule. The outermost layer is capsule, and under which the cell wall is present. Fine. It has a relatively high osmotic pressure due to the presence of dissolved solutes in high concentration. So compared to the surroundings, it has high osmotic pressure because of many of the solutes of high concentration has been dissolved in the cell wall. Fine. The cell wall prevents osmotic lysis, bursting due to increased volume, because it has got a rigid structure. So it helps in the in preventing the bursting due to increased volume or increased pressure. And we can see here a detailed structure of gram positive as well as the gram negative bacteria species. So it has peptidoglycan, this point is very important, which is composed of polysaccharide chains, and they are cross-linked by unusual peptides containing both L and D amino acids such as D-glutamic acid and D-alanine. So the bacterial cell wall is composed of basically of peptidoglycan. And what is peptidoglycan? It is a polysaccharide chain along with the some protein molecules, and these protein molecules are basically L and D. L means levorotatory and D means dextrorotatory. in human beings or in eukaryotic cells, basically the amino acids present are in the L form, that is levorotatory form. But in the bacterial cell we can find that there are amino acids which are dextrorotatory, that is D, and the example of these are D-glutamic acid and D-aniline. Okay, so these are present specifically in the bacterial cell or the prokaryotic cell. So next point is that archaeal cell wall contains pseudopeptidoglycan. So the examples of prokaryotic cell includes archaeal as well as the bacterial cells. Fine. So the archaeal bacteria cell wall contains pseudopeptidoglycan. In the bacterial cell wall we have seen there is peptidoglycan, and in the archaeobacteria we will find the pseudopeptidoglycan instead of the peptidoglycan. This pseudopeptidoglycan is made up of proteins and other polymers. So this is the distinguished portion of bacteria from archaeobacteria. And here in the figure you can see the gram-positive bacteria cell wall and the gram-negative bacterial cell wall. Here in the gram-positive bacteria cell wall you will find the teichoic acid, and in gram-positive bacterial cell you can see here a wide layer of peptidoglycan, and here in the gram-negative bacteria it is very small peptidoglycan layer. That's why the gram-negative bacteria doesn't take the gram-positive strain. Okay, so and this is the cell membrane. Fine, and other proteins are there in the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Okay, so then the teichoic acid is the characteristic property of this gram-positive bacteria. Fine, so and the next structure we would like to discuss is the plasma membrane or the cell membrane, and this plasma membrane or cell membrane is present just below the cell wall. This is a thin phospholipid bilayer, and it is a thin phospholipid bilayer and composed of two layers of lipid molecules which separate the cell components from the outside. So below the cell wall you can see here this is the one layer of phospholipid, and this is the second layer of phospholipid. In between many integral proteins like this one protein are embedded in this. Fine, fluid mosaic model of the plasma membrane you can see here. Fine, so it is the integral protein because half portion is outside and half portion is inside this phospholipid bilayer, and this is peripheral protein because it is outside this phospholipid membrane, and these are the phospholipids, and these are the glycolipid bilayers attached to the main phospholipid layer. The plasma membrane is about 6 to 8 nanometer thick. Its thickness is about 6 to 8 nanometer. It is located beneath the cell wall. Just below the cell wall, plasma membrane is located. It regulates the flow of substances in and out of the cell. So this is the main membrane which regulates the substances in and out of the cell, or you can say that the semi-permeable nature of any cell is due to this presence of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane. Now coming to the fourth point, that is the cytoplasm. Next to the cell membrane we will see there is a cytoplasm in the cell. Okay, and the cytoplasm is a gel-like structure surrounded by cell membrane. Here this portion is known as cytoplasm. All this portion is known as cytoplasm, and it is a gel-like structure. Fine, and it is surrounded by the plasma membrane and then the cell wall and the periplasm. All the membranes are surrounding this cytoplasm. It contains water. In the cytoplasm we will find water, enzymes, salts, cell components like the chromosomes or ribosomes, okay, and various organic molecules which regulate the cellular metabolism of the cell. So this is the cytoplasm. And next structure we will find in a prokaryotic cell is the flagellum. Fine, so here in the figure you can see there are various types of flagella, that is monotrichous means having a single flagella on one end, and the another one is lophotrichous flagella means there are more than one flagella but they are present on the single side of the bacterial cell, And then there is amphitrichus, means one flagella is present at both the ends. Fine. And in the last we will see the peritrichus, means flagella is present all over the surface of the bacterial cell. And here you can see a detailed structure of the flagella. Here it is attached to the cell with the help of a hook, and this is the filament and this is the tip. Fine. So some prokaryotic cell contain flagella. It is a long whip like, okay, it is like just like a whip protrusion which emerges from the cell structure. It helps in locomotion of bacterial cells. So basic function of flagella is the locomotion of bacterial cell. These are made up of specific protein called the flagellin. Flagellin is the protein which is present in the flagella. Fine. Next structure we will see in a prokaryotic cell is the fimbriae and the pili. Fimbriae are thin and filamentous structure which help to stick the cell on various surfaces. So these red structures you'll see are seeing here are known as fimbriae, and the basic function of fimbriae is they help to stick the cells on various surfaces. Okay, while the pili is a hair-like appendages composed of oligomeric protein called pilin. Okay, pilin is the protein which is present in the pili. These are found in many bacterial and archaeal cell. They are present in bacterial as well as archaeal cell surfaces. During conjugation, conjugation means the joining of two cells. Means one cell is here and one cell here. If they got joined together, this point is known as conjugation. Okay, so during conjugation, the sex pili holds two cells together as they transfer the DNA molecules. So there are some events of sexual reproduction in bacteria as well, and during this the bacterial cell exchange their DNA, and these pili holds the cells together so that they can exchange their DNA, their portions of DNA. So the basically the pili function is to hold the cells together during this process of conjugation. Fine. So the next portion is the nucleoid region. Here in the prokaryotic cell, there is no specific or specialized or developed nucleus. So there is a region in the chromosome. There is a region in the chromosome which is known as the nucleoid, because all the chromosome, because the prokaryotic cell has got a circular chromosome, and the chromosome lie in the cytoplasm. And it is rolled, somewhat coiled structure, and these region are known as nucleoid region. Fine. It is a space within the it is a prokaryotic cell cytoplasm that contain genetic information such as the single circular chromosome. It has got a single circular chromosome. It is prokaryotic. Fine. Prokaryotic, not eukaryotic, and a small ring of extracellular DNA called the plasmid. Here you can see this is the plasmid. It is extracellular, means it is not the part of this DNA. It is extracellular DNA known as plasmid. It is present in the prokaryotic cells only, not in the eukaryotic cell. Okay, and here is the ribosome, and this portion here, it is the nucleoid region, contain xenophore, means all the chromosome get coiled together and they are known as nucleoid region. Here in the figure you can see chromosomes lie like this. Fine. And they form some circle like structure. Actually they are joined together, but during joining they get coiled up like this, and this region is known as nucleoid region. It is made up of multiple compacted copies of DNA in a continuous thread. Fine. Which the addition of some RNA and proteins. Fine. So to get replication they use this RNA as primers and proteins. Fine. So they don't have any specific size or shape, and they can be identified under light microscope. We can see the nucleoid region in the light microscope. It controls the cell activity and reproduction, because these nucleoid regions contain many of the genes. Okay, so that is why it has been said that they control the cell activity and the reproduction. And the next structure we will see in the prokaryotic cell is the ribosomes. Okay, so the prokaryotic cell has got a 70S ribosome, and this is very important term because the eukaryotic cells has got 80S ribosomes, while the prokaryotic cell has got 70s ribosomes, which is composed of 50s and 30s and 50s subunits. Okay, so there are two subunits in the ribosomes, and this larger subunit is known as 50s ribosome, and this is known as 30s ribosome. Fine. And the 50s composed of 23 S and 5S RNA, whereas the 30S is composed of 16S RNA. And again, this 50S has been divided into two portions, that is 23S ribosomes plus 5S ribosomes. Fine. And the smaller portion contains 60S ribosomes. Fine. And this 60S ribosome is very much used, as it is the characteristic property of the prokaryotic cells also. Fine. It is used in the phylogenetic tree construction also. This 16S RNA, their shape and size vary on different prokaryotic cells. It helps in protein synthesis. So the basic function of the ribosome is protein synthesis, to synthesize protein using the mRNA strands. Fine. And the next term we will see here is the glycocalyx. So glycocalyx or capsule, you can say, is somewhat similar terms used in many of the textbooks. So glycocalyx play an important role as a receptor. It also protects the cell wall. So you can say it a capsule. Okay, so a capsule is generally adherent to cell envelope. Slime is easily get washed away. So glycocalyx somewhat get combined term used for capsule as well as the slime gel. Fine. So another topic we will see is the mesosomes, which are very important point as per the prokaryotic cell. Here you can say this is the mesosome. This portion is known as the mesosomes. Okay, so mesosomes are the extension of the plasma membrane which is unfolded in the cytoplasm. It helps in cellular respiration. So basically its work is to cellular respiration. Fine. So this is the unfolded portion of the plasma membrane which got unfolded into the cytoplasm, and this portion is known as mesosomes. Another point is the inclusions or the granules. Fine. Here you can see here are some of the granules. In the form of granules you can see some structures. Fine. These are known as inclusions or these are known as granules. Fine. So they are basically composed of carbohydrates, glycogen, phosphate, fat are stored in these inclusions or granules in the form of particles for later use. Fine. You can see that there are vacuoles for this purpose in plant cells. Fine. So in the prokaryotic cell there are inclusions or granules which store the carbohydrate, glycogen, phosphate, fat for the later use. Fine. So another point of the prokaryotic cell is the endospore formation. Endospore formation is very important point about the prokaryotic cell, because during harsh conditions it helps the cell to survive. Many of the prokaryotic cells form endospore during tough conditions. Fine. So they develop this endospore, and under this endospore many of the this is in the figure you can see here, this is the mother spore mother cells or called the sporangium. In this sporangium many bacterial cells get divided, and when this spore burst, many of the bacterial cells got released and they again divide into the suitable or the good environment which are suitable for them. But under harsh conditions they develop this endospore or the sporangium. And lastly we will give some examples of prokaryotic cell, and the first example is the bacteria. Bacteria is the classical example of the prokaryotic cell. So bacteria are single cell. Almost all the prokaryotic cells are single cell, found everywhere and appear in different shapes and structures. So their structure and shapes can vary. Like here you can see in the picture that it is the Staphylococcus aureus, staff-like structure just like the grapes. Fine. So that is why the name is Staphylococcus aureus. Streptococcus, it is in the form of a chain and the shape is cocci, means the round shape. That is why they are known as Streptococcus pyogenes. And Streptococcus pneumoniae, here you can see they are in the pair of two and they form a wall around them. It is known as Streptococcus pneumoniae, and this is known as E. coli. This is E. coli. You can see here the rod shaped E. coli, and they are in the form of chains, and it is the Salmonella. Fine, you can see the peritrichous structure in the Salmonella. This is Vibrio cholerae, and this is the Klebsiella pneumoniae. Fine. And another one example is Bordetella pertussis, Corynebacterium diphtheriae, Helicobacter pyrrole, and Clostridium botulinum, Clostridium tetani, comma shaped structure, Neisseria, and Rhiponema pallidum, spiral structures. Fine. So another example of prokaryotic cells are, they are archaeous cells and similar to bacterial cells in size and shape. They are similar to in prokaryotic cells, that is bacterial cells, in the size as well as in shape, but the important difference between the bacterial cell and the archaeal cell is that they can survive in extreme environments, means very hot environment or in a very cold environment. Okay, so such hot environments are known as hot springs. Fine. So here you can see some of the archaea bacteria as well as the some bacteria cells. I hope that you have understood the prokaryotic cell as well as its different internal structures, and still if you have any doubts, then you can write in the comment section. I will try to reply in a written response as well as in the form of a video. Thank you so much for watching.